Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 bike carrier and see how it works with our 2025 Mazda CX-30. So the NV 2.0 was designed by Kuat with the cycling enthusiast in mind. There are a lot of nice little bells and whistles to it, and it can accommodate a variety of different bike styles. It's going to have a carrying capacity of up to 60 pounds per tray, which means it will accommodate a lot of the e-bikes that are out there on the market now. It can also accommodate tires up to 5 inches wide with the included adapters, or as small as a 20-inch wheelbase, such as a kid's bike, with the included adapters. It's wheel mounted, so it's going to operate with a point of contact here with a post and hook to the front wheel, and it's going to have a ratcheting wheel strap for the back wheel. A couple of the other features have security in mind. So each of the trays on the NV 2.0 at the rear wheel has an included integrated cable lock. That cable lock is going to be key-to-like to the included locking hitch pin. So you do have a way right out of the box of securing your bike to the rack and also securing the rack into the hitch on your vehicle. It's got a really nice tool-free anti-rattle mechanism that's operated through this knob underneath. All you need to do is, once you get it in the hitch and get your locking pin through, is just turn this clockwise to tighten it up, and it gives you a really nice anti-rattle. There is no slop inside the hitch at all. As a matter of fact, we're moving the vehicle more than we're moving the bike rack at this point, so it's got a really nice, secure, solid feel to it when you're going down the road. And that's going to protect not only your bike and keep that nice, your bike rack, your hitch, your vehicle, all of it. So let's talk a little bit about how the NV 2.0 actually fits with the CX-30. As you can see, we've got plenty of room here in between the vehicles and the bike. And if you wanted to kind of use this as a frame of reference for the bikes that you have at home, the bike we have on the NV 2.0 today has a large size frame, 15-inch handlebars, and large pedals. So you can kind of use that to scale against your own bike in order to determine how this would fit. But even with all that, again, we're in no danger of these making contact with each other. Even if I'm on a rougher patch of road on my way to or from the trail, there's really nothing that's indicating that these are going to come into contact with each other at all. But like with any hitch bike rack, we are going to have some visual obstructions when we have a bike loaded up. We do keep the bike kind of high off the ground with the NV 2.0, so you are going to see a lot of the bike through your rear window. As far as other drivers are concerned, we're going to have some partial obstruction to our taillights and our license plate. But what might be really important to you is that we are also going to have some partial obstruction to our rear view camera. So it's really important to understand just what kind of footprint this is leaving behind our bumper. So if we measure from the bumper to the furthest part of the bike rack, we're going to come up with a measurement of almost 32 inches. So just keep that in mind. You've got almost 3 feet extra back here that you're going to want to account for whenever you're backing into a tight space or trying to parallel park. We're also going to take a look at our ground clearance. Now, we've got a pretty good rise up from the shank as far as where our bike trays are, and that's good because the CX-30 hitch is pretty low to the ground, so that's going to help us out a lot when it comes to our ground clearance. And it's going to offer us a ground clearance of about 21 inches, and that should be more than enough for you in most instances. However, it is something to keep in mind if you do come upon a really steep driveway or hill or something like that. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can carry bikes up to 60 pounds per tray on this bike rack. And because there's no real load assist like a ramp or anything that you can get to accommodate this, you're going to want to make sure that however much your bike weighs, you're going to be comfortable getting it up and down from the bike tray. So from the ground, you're going to want to make sure that you're okay getting your bike up about 22.5 inches off the ground in order to load and unload it. So a really common question we get at etrailer when it comes to these hitch bike racks is, will you have access to your cargo area while you have a bike loaded up on the carrier? And in this case, we absolutely will. We do have a tilt-away feature on the NV 2.0. It's going to be operated through this lever right here. All you're going to really want to do is brace the bike. We're going to pull back on that lever, and we're just going to lower it all away from the vehicle. Now at this point, I can come around and get full access to my lift gate and cargo area. And really, we have more than enough room. We got about a foot from the pedal, a little more than that away from the handlebar, so plenty of clearance. Because it keeps it a little bit further away from the bumper too, we can actually walk back here, you know, without that much hindrance. But now I can get in and out of my cargo area, get some extra equipment, shoes, water, whatever it may be that I need for the ride. Or perhaps I just want to stop at the store on the way home from the trail and just load up some groceries or something like that. Now it's just very, very convenient because I don't actually have to remove the bike from the carrier in order to get access to that. And if I'm going to get it back up into its riding position, I don't need to engage that lever again. All I need to do is lift up against it, we'll get that click, and we're ready to drive down the road. Now, getting your bike on and off the NV 2.0 is a really simple process. Again, we only have 2 points of contact. When we're loading our bike, we always want to engage the arm and hook first. That way you can keep it upright while we put on our strap. Since we're unloading the bike, we're going to engage our strap first. We're going to depress this gray tab, release our strap. We're just going to feed it back through the spokes and clear it out the other side. Next, we're going to come around to our arm and hook. This button right here, we're going to press in on that. We're going to lift our hook up and clear the wheel. Now at this point, I don't have anything impeding me of getting the bike up off of the rack, on the ground, and now I'm able to store it or hit the trail. So without a bike on the carrier, we obviously don't want to drive around town like this. We do have a fold-up or a stowaway position on the bike rack. What we're going to do is engage that same lever we used for the tilt-away, but instead of letting it fall away from the vehicle, we're going to lift up against the back of it. Now we're going to significantly reduce that footprint that we had here, and at the moment we are at about 15 inches back here. So we've come really close to about cutting that overall length in half, but 15 inches is going to be a lot more manageable. But you do want to end up keeping it in mind because although we've regained all of our visibility through the back window, other drivers are going to fully see our taillights. Our license plate is pretty much completely blocked, as well as our rear view camera. So you just need to remember that you still have a little bit more than a foot back here when you're trying to back into those tight spaces. Now, a couple of things before we finish up. One, the color scheme on this is going to be a gray with that orange accent. If that's not really your cup of tea, this also comes in black as well if you want something like a little bit more of a standard color in your bike rack. The other thing I wanted to point out is that earlier in the video I did mention that Kuat had the enthusiast in mind when they built the NV 2.0. And one of the really nice extra features that enthusiasts really, really love is the integrated repair kit. So we actually have a repair stand here that you can use. Just engage it, bring your frame up. This way, if there's some on-the-fly repairs you need to make before you get out on the trail or after you come back from it, you can get all that taken care of right there on the spot without any real issues or hassle or anything like that. So a really, really nice added feature to the NV 2.0. But if after watching this video you decide that this is the bike rack for you and your Mazda CX-30 and you get it and you're able to use it a few times, please share with us what you think about it in the comments below. Sharing your experience with us and other neighbors just like you can help them make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.